What's up guys, Prodigy here, and today I'm going to be bringing you top 5 jerks in Pokemon. And before I start, I'm going to be talking about the video games only. I know there are plenty of jerks in the anime, but there's so many different characters in general, minor and major, that it wouldn't be a top 5 list. Anyways, let's get started. Number 5, random enemy encounters. Alright, look, I know this actually isn't a person, rather a game design concept, but I want to ask you guys something. How often does this happen to you? You've spent hours grinding and leveling your Pokemon, hunting for ideal training spots, deliberately walking into the point of view of every trainer you haven't already defeated. You're all ready for your next gym battle, and you know it. You've never been so certain this entire game, but just as you start crossing the dark cave to get to your next challenge, BAM! You're interrupted by every 3 steps by a useless Zubat, and you'd swear that every single time you find the exact same Zubat, only it's not, because the game was programmed that way. So you exhaust your powerful party to get out of massive horde of seemingly the same Zubat. Then you go to the Pokemon Center. All better. Or is it? Number 4, Whitney. Goldenrod City is a really fun place to explore. There's the radio tower, the bike shop, even a super-sized Pokemart with loads of awesome things for your party. There's even a neat gym where you can catch the shape of a Clefairy in the environment. Where could there be a jerk in this place? It's right in that gym. Whitney and her giant, overweight, overpowered Miltank. You really need to try and find a good female Pokemon for this one. Because one of her favorite moves to use on you is Attract. If the target Pokemon is an opposite gender of the attacker, this move can make it so they can hardly do anything at all, let alone attack. For this move, think of it as Frozen status, but much more annoying. And then, it uses 2 attacks, Stomp and Rollout, to destroy your party, especially if they're male. And then after all that pain to finally defeat her, she cries, throws a fit, and won't give you the badge until she's done crying like a spoiled little kid. And after what her Miltank did to us, she definitely deserves it. Number 3 is Gary freaking Oak. Or Blue, or Green, or Toru, or whatever the heck you cited him in the game. And if you play the games, or even watch the anime series, it's not hard to see why I put him in this top 5 list of jerks in the Pokemon. Okay, so first, he always picks the Pokemon that counters yours, then immediately makes you battle him, which you can't refuse. Secondly, he comes towards you from almost nowhere at different points of the adventure, heckles you about your Pokemon compared to his, or you're skilled as a trainer, and then just challenges you out of nowhere for no apparent reason other than to be a jerk. And speaking of that, he challenges you in some of the weirdest places, like in the middle of the road, challenge, laboratory, challenge, luxury cruise ship, challenge. He doesn't let up when it comes to fighting you, even in the most indirect possible form. He insults people so much, it just seems like a normal conversation. In fact, I bet plenty of people just skip the dialogue in those versions because the process was always the same. Gary finds you, pops up out of nowhere, insults you, then challenges you, and you can't even say no. Number 2, Silver. Why is this guy ahead of Gary freaking Oak, you ask? Well, at least Gary has half a heart to treat his Pokemon with respect. Sure, he doesn't treat anyone else that way, but at least he shows some concern for his Pokemon. This guy is a complete jerk, even to his Pokemon. First, he doesn't even try to ask for a Pokemon, just breaks in after you leave and steals it. Second, he is just like Gary. He will pick the one that counters the Pokemon you pick. Also, like Gary, he also walks up from random places and challenges you in strange spots, like the middle of a road. And unlike Gary, however, he shows absolutely no concern for his Pokemon. Throughout your adventure, he only wants power, and powerful Pokemon. He also holds on to very few Pokemon in his party. That party also having a few new or different ones in it, and missing some from time to time. Sometimes, I think he's just crazy for power, and he thinks the only way to do that is to find the strongest of Pokemon. This guy is an absolute jerk. Number 1 is you, or Red, or Ash, or whatever you decided to name him in the game. Yeah, bet you didn't see that coming, did you? This one is actually hidden within the smaller, less obvious details of the games. First of all, at the beginning of Pokemon Red or Blue, Gary doesn't want his sister to give you a town map, but she does anyway. What did he do to her to make her want to side with you? Maybe she just has a crush on you or something. I don't know. Second is Professor Oak. He sides with you through most of the game, asks you to take care of most tasks, and the only time we see him talk to his grandson is when he makes him shut up so he can explain himself giving away 2 Pokemon to you and Gary in that order. Third, when you fight him on the SSN, his Raticate sustains serious damage. He tries to get him to some help, but he can't get past the crowd. After this, he no longer has his Raticate in his party. It's often assumed that you killed his Raticate. So, to recap, you stole the admiration of his sister and his grandfather, as well as his grandfather's trust. Then you essentially kill his Raticate. After all this, you meet him at the end of the Pokemon League. He worked long and hard, taken multiple defeats by you, battled vigorously, and made it to the top. All of this only to have his dreams ripped from him as you take his place so shortly after he acquired it. Even when you meet yourself from Red and Blue in Gold and Silver, he doesn't even say a single word. You truly are the biggest jerk in the Pokemon series.